So a very warm welcome to all from German Language Center and Goethe-Institut Mueller Bhavan. So it's time for us to unlock together the career opportunities with German. The webinar 2.0, which is the second in a series of webinars, deals with a much awaited topic, that's career opportunities with German. In the present time of uncertainty due to lockdown, we have been able to unlock more avenues for our youth. And with this rare combination of panelists, I believe we will be able to empower the youth of the sister states of Bihar and Jharkhand. A very warm welcome once again. I must say it's an absolute honor and delight to be sharing this webinar space with Ms. Anita Mitra, Project Manager, Educational Services, Goethe-Institut Mueller Bhavan, Kolkata. Ms. Veronica Taransaskaya, Project Head, Education Services and Schools Partners for the Future of PASH South Asia, Goethe-Institut Mueller Bhavan. Ms. Shubhda Chaudhary, Head DAAD, Information Point Mumbai. Ms. Sapna Bhosle, Executive ProRecognition, Indo-German Chamber of Commerce, Deutsch-Indische Handelskammer. And not to forget the dynamic young couple of Dr. Kapil Sinha and Dr. Nachiketa Mishra, who are a testimony of having been able to make it big in Germany after having completed medicine. I would like to add here that it's an honor and privilege to be co-hosting this webinar with the Goethe-Institut Kolkata, and I'm extremely thankful to Ms. Anita Mitra and her team for having helped us to have a rare and rich combination of panelists. I would also like to mention here and welcome our participants, the audience from 11 institutions, namely Radiant International School Patna, Delhi Public School Ranchi, Latravai School Patna, the Tribhuvan School Patna, Kendriya Vidyalaya Khagol, Bhagat Mahila College Patna University, Bihar Animal Science University, Amity University Delhi, IIMC Delhi, XISS Ranchi and IIT Patna. We welcome you all audience, and we hope you get a lot of information to make big in your life further. In the new normal of social distancing and digitization of education, uncertainty prevails regardless of all our efforts to inform ourselves through various sources regarding education and career opportunities abroad. This is our initiative, and we would like to thank each one present here today. Not taking much of your time, here onwards, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce our stalwarts, and at the same time, I would be posing a question to them, which would give us an insight into today's presentation. Obviously, the question would be a short one, just to introduce themselves, maybe, I would like to, first of all, I would like to introduce Ms. Anita Mitra. Anita Mitra is a German language teacher and a teacher trainer. She has been working closely with young adults for more than 12 years now. Her special area of interest lies in task-based learning and learner autonomy in language lessons for teens and young adults. With focus on working with digital media in the classroom, in 2012, she started working as the Project Manager Educational Services for East India. She regularly plans and conducts projects and workshops for the partner schools and institutions of the Goethe-Institut. Anita, you have been with us, especially this region. The two states of Bihar and Jharkhand needs to be very, very grateful to you for all the help extended by you through Goethe-Institut in this region. How do you see the future of our students here in the region?
Yes, Archana, it's a pleasure to work with you also, and also for this region. As I have, I think, told you many times before, this region we get students, and when we do projects as well as conduct exams, we always feel that the students from this region, they, think out of the box and they go the extra mile. So it's always a pleasure, I mean, to work with them. And I think they have a lot of potential as well, which can be explored with the correct opportunities to come to this region, so to say. And I'm looking forward to a lot of projects and a lot of collaborations for the sister states.
Thank you so much, Anita. We always look forward to your presence in our region. Thank you so much. Although we are the same region from East India, yeah, and we are Indians. So I would like to introduce our next panelist, Ms. Veronika Taransinskaya. Ms. Veronika Taransinskaya is right now in Berlin, and we are very grateful that so early in the morning you have consented to join us and have joined us here. It's a great pleasure to have you on board, Veronika. Ms. Veronika Taransinskaya joined as the project, as a project head, Education Services and Schools, Partners for the Future, PASH, South Asia in 2019. She brings along with her many years of experience in the field of language. In 2006, she completed her graduation in German Studies and Politics in Berlin. Apart from that, she has done her Master Diploma in Nonprofit Management in Kaiserslautern in 2013 and her second state examination in Berlin. For the past 13 years, she has worked as an educator and education manager in Germany, India, and Bolivia. She is specialized in the field of education for sustainable development and experienced in vocational education. Veronika, a very brief question to you. How do you see, you have been associated with India for some time now, I believe 2 years, right? So how do you see the potential here in India and the students and what they can actually get through with German?
So thank you so much for the introduction and the warm welcome. I see a lot of potential here in the whole India and in South Asia. I was or I am associated with India not only for the 2 years, but for longer, because I was here already in 2007. And since then, I'm very close to India and South Asia, and I started working actually in South India and teaching students German language and trying to advise them what are the opportunities with German language after they know it to a certain level. And yeah, this was such a big pleasure, and I saw so much potential, and that's why actually I was always happy and keen to go back and proceed this work, because I think it's a great opportunity for the students with knowing languages, what all they can do in our global world.
Thank you, Veronika. Such a pleasure to have you on board. Our next panelist, Ms. Shubhda Chaudhary. She was with us in webinar 1.02, and it was great to have her on board. And Shubhda, I would like to introduce you. Ms. Shubhda Chaudhary is heading the DAAD Information Point in Mumbai. The DAAD Information Point in Mumbai. She completed her MA in German Translation and Interpretation from the prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. She has been associated with various German companies throughout her 29 years career, the Indo-German Export Promotion Project, Sprint RPG, Symphony Services, Bangalore, and has been a freelance translator. She joined DAAD Mumbai in 2011. DAAD has been doing great service in India, and Shubhda, I would like to know from you, what exactly is DAAD, if you could just tell us in short.
All right, so the DAAD is the German acronym for the Deutscher Akademischer Austauschdienst, which translates in English as the German Academic Exchange Service. The DAAD was founded in 1925, so a very, very long track record, I would say. Even in India, the DAAD office was founded in 1960, so we celebrate our 60 years this year. And we had great plans, in fact, before the whole corona thingy hit us. But yes, now everything will be digital, of course. So basically, the DAAD acts, first of all, as a scholarship provider, or rather a funding agency for various levels. For Indian students, or for Indians rather, let me put it, there are scholarships starting right from the bachelor's level, going up to full professorial levels. And we also have project funding along with the UGC and the Department of Science and Technology, and various aspects into that. Apart from that, of course, we are the think tank for the education policy of Germany when it comes to foreign policy, foreign education policy. And last but not the least, in today's world, which is called, the era, which is called the Anthropocene, where the human being is the most influential factor in the complete how should I say, in today's functioning, we stand here with a lot of opportunity for internationalization for institutions as well. So that is something in brief, I would say. Yes.
That's great to know. It's a very important information that you've shared with us right now, and we really look forward to your presentation, Shubda. And I would like to move forward to our next panelist, Ms. Sapna Bhosle. Ms. Sapna Bhosle has been working with the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce since 2017 and with ProRecognition since early 2018. As a career advisor, she guides Indian professionals who want to pursue their career in Germany and consults them on the recognition of their qualifications and job chances to successfully make it to Germany. ProRecognition is a project that is funded by the German Federal Ministry for Education and Research, and in India, Sapna works on this project together with her colleagues Romani Varanjikar and Isabel Jeringer. I believe they are also a part of the audience, Sapna?
No, unfortunately, they both are in meetings and calls, so it's just going to be me today.
So I must say that Sapna Bhosle, to unlock the career opportunities, since she is dealing with career opportunities, she is the person to go for today. And Sapna, we really look forward to your to the information that's going to be shared by you. Just in brief, if you could tell us what exactly is ProRecognition doing for the students in India?
Yes, so ProRecognition is an information service similar to the DAAD for education. We consult and advise professionals who wish to work in Germany. So because the job market is something that is so dynamic, our core target group is typically working professionals or students who have just finished with their education and have just started working or are just looking for jobs, because by the time that people finish their education, again, the job market will be so diverse and versatile that it's really difficult to predict what will happen 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years from now. But I look forward to a very interesting session, and I hope I can impart some interesting information to all the participants today.
Thank you, Sapna. Thank you. We too look forward to this interaction with you, and I'm sure all my panelists, student panelists here, must be waiting for the Q&A session with you. And now, two of my most loved ones who have been with me for some time in Patna while they were learning German at German Language Center, Dr. Kapil Sinha and Dr. Nachiketa Mishra. A warm welcome to both of you and to the both kids. They have recently been blessed with a little one. Congratulations to both of you, and thank you for taking out time despite all the busy schedule. Hello, so they are also in Germany right now, and I would like to introduce Dr. Kapil Sinha. She did her schooling in Patna and then went on to pursue medicine in Mauritius. She worked as a doctor in Delhi and then went to Germany. At the moment, she is doing her post-graduation in radiology. Dr. Nachiketa Mishra did his schooling in Jamshedpur and then pursued medicine, worked as a doctor in Delhi and Jamshedpur, at the moment doing his post-graduation in neurology in Germany. So Natiketa and Kapun, just very brief, could you tell me, how does it feel from Patna, through your, all the educational travel, you have reached now Germany. How does it feel?
It feels great. It feels good. First of all, thank you so much, Archana ma'am. It's so great seeing you and talking to you after such a long time.
Yeah.
It was an amazing. First of all, I would like to start with Patna because we are doctors and generally doctors are not so. Right now it's opening up, but at the time when we were trying, it was not a very common hotspot for doctors to come to Germany. So when we were trying, we needed a lot of support and you were there. You helped us through the initial stages, which I think is the most difficult. And yeah, through the initial stages and hard work and everything, we just reached it. It feels good right now when we think that, okay, we did achieve a little bit of something, pursuing our dreams. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to do our post-graduation in certain fields, which are very competitive. If you would look at it, like radiology and neurology are very competitive fields to get into. So now that we've got it, we are working hard towards it. It feels good.
Thank you, Kapun. We will again come back to you so that you can share your experience with our students and our job seekers here in Bihar and Jharkhand. I would like to just introduce Abhi. We are very proud to have a panel of 12 students here with us and who would be posing questions during the Q&A session, but I would request them to introduce themselves about their institution and their field of study. I request the students to make it very short with the name of your name of the institution and your field of education. So let's start with Vidushi Roy. You can turn on your video.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sure.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm Vidushi and I'm from Mueller College, Patna University. And I've also done A1.1 part of German language, and it was really very, I hope I'm audible. It was really a very different language, and at the same time, not so different. I also got to explore a new culture, and I hope and I look forward to learning more about it in this webinar.
Great. Sakshi Modi.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Sakshi Modi, an undergraduate student currently pursuing my BBA from Mueller College, Patna University. And currently I'm also doing my B2.1 level from GLC. Thank you.
Thank you. Moini Raman.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Good morning. My name is Mohini, and I've done my master's in geography from University of Delhi. And I also did my B1 from GLC in 2012. And I wish to continue studying German like I used to do back in school. So thank you, everybody.
Great, Mohini. Zulika Botra.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Tulika Botra and I am doing my BCom from Mueller College, and I'm also doing B2.1 level from German Language Center, and I feel so great learning German here. Thank you.
Great. Mona Singh.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hello, everyone. This is Mona Singh. I have completed just my course from Indian Institute of Mass Communication, Delhi, and learning German would have been a great experience for me. Thank you.
Great. Akash Kumar, he's from Kendra Vidyalaya. Okay, it seems he hasn't been able to join yet. Prajwal Sagar.
Hi. Good afternoon. My name is Prajwal Sagar, and I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's in German language with my specialization in linguistic didactic and literature. And I also have French as my second language.
Great. Divyanshu Sahai? Okay. It seems Divyanshu is still not in the panel yet. Vihag Shamle?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm from Patna and I'm from Ready International School. I'm studying in class 12. I am very interested in German language since I saw some TV shows and movies. Then I want to just go through it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Ashutosh Sharan?
Good morning, everyone. I am from Litra Valley School and I'm in Standard 12 Science section, and I have studied German till A2 level.
Tanushri?
Hello, ma'am. I'm Tanushri from the Tribhuvan School, class 11. Ma'am, I'm very curious to know about German culture, German language, and the career opportunities in German. Thank you.
Great, great. Pranav Sinha, are you there? I think he will be joining us late. So thank you so much, all the panelists. We are looking forward to your questions to the speakers today. Now, I would not, without further delay, I would like to begin today's session. I would like to inform the audience that they can send their queries through through Q&A, and we will address them during the Q&A session. So the chat is not there, so do post your questions in the Q&A part, okay? And we are looking forward to more and more questions so that with more questions, we can come up with more information. So moving ahead, may I request Ms. Anita Mitra to begin with her presentation on programs and projects by Goethe-Institut to support German learners. Over to you, Anita.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Archana. So, yeah, thank you, Archana. It was really nice to hear from the students. I really like that part a lot. So, you know, we can also see what the interests are. And I think for this webinar, we have some interesting inputs for everyone. So, yeah, so I would just like to start. Herzlich willkommen. Hallo, guten Tag. And so most of you are here. I think some of you are already learning German. That's what we heard. Some of you are curious about the language. You want to know more. And since you're already here, I'm thinking you must be already having some reasons in your mind to come to this webinar and to learn German. So I would first of all like to ask you a question. What do you think are the reasons to learn German as a foreign language? You can use the question answer box to just give in your ideas. It can be anything. There are no right or wrong answers here. So we just want to know, what do you think are the reasons for you, I mean, for anyone to learn German? You can just type it in the chat box. Yeah, I think we're already getting some answers. And of course, one of the main reasons, I mean, is opportunity to learn to study and work in Germany. And I think my colleagues and my fellow speakers who will give you a very comprehensive idea about this and what this actually means. So you'll get a lot of input. Other reasons is also, so I think some of you must have thought of this as well, opportunities for exchange with another country. Then we have science and research, as well as a global career. So we have experts on this panel who will give you, more insight on all this. What I really liked was, I think some of the students are also interested in cultural understanding, and this cultural understanding, I think, can be beneficial in any career aspect. Since you are learning something new, opening yourself to learn a new language, letting yourself learn something, that always helps in any kind of studies later on, as well as job opportunities, to understand the culture of the place, etc. Communication, of course, travel. So it's also not always, career and studies. You can also have some leisure activities, like traveling would also become easier if not only in the German speaking countries, but of course also to Europe itself. And more about leisure, enjoyment of literature, music, art, and philosophy, as some of the students have also, mentioned that they're interested in that. And we know the big names in literature from Germany of, Goethe, Kafka, Brecht, also your music from, Mozart, the classical stalwarts, but you also have, I think, something which you can enjoy at the moment as well. Like, I think some of the German series are also very popular at the moment. So, and you can also, what it'll help you to learn the language, as well as understand the culture and get to know what the country is like as well. Now I would also again go back to you, and you can use the question answer chat box to answer these questions. So which German city do you think does the German car BMW come from? So you can just write there A, B, or C. Yes. Yes, I think we have the right answer already. Okay, I have true. Yes. Okay, and which is a popular German show? A, B, or C? Is it Money Heist, Dark, or Suits? Yeah, I think everybody's got this one correct, Dark. And do you know the name of this specialty? Yeah, correct. That's the Black Forest cake. Okay, so I think some of you are already learning German, and you are in some advanced level in B2, but I think some of you are also interested and curious about the language. So I would just like to give you a short teaser class, which also helps me when I try to figure out what language or what I want to learn. So, hallo, guten Tag. Yeah, seems fairly easy. Guten Tag, hallo. Then you have guten Morgen. Yes. And guten Abend. Yeah. So guten Abend, I think everybody would understand what these three greetings are. And now, how do you introduce yourself in German? So, mein Name ist. Yeah. Wie ist Ihr Name? Okay. So, mein Name ist, in my case, mein Name ist Anita Mitra. Wie ist Ihr Name? And in her case, it would be, mein Name ist, yeah, Angela Merkel. Und wie ist Ihr Name? And the answer on this side, mein Name ist, yeah. Then, ich komme aus Deutschland, aus Berlin. So this is what Angela Merkel is saying. Ich komme aus Deutschland, aus Berlin. Und woher kommen Sie? Yeah, so in my case, woher kommen Sie? Ich komme aus Indien, aus Kolkata. And in Mr. Modi's case, it is, ich komme aus Indien, aus Gujarat. Then I have, ich wohne in Berlin, in Frau Merkel's case. In my case, ich wohne in Kolkata. For you, ich wohne in Patna. Und wo wohnen Sie? Ja, ich wohne in Delhi. So, seems fairly easy. Deutsch is actually easy. I think some of you have already mentioned that it's not as difficult as you might think it is. And again, I have a short quiz for you here. So how do you greet a person in German? What can you say? A, B, or C? Yeah, you can say exactly B and C. Yeah, hallo, guten Tag, correct. How can you say my name is in German? Ja, mein Name ist. And Deutsch ist leicht, no? It's easy. Okay. So if you decide to learn German, so the Goethe-Institut as well as the German Language Center in Patna, they have these 6 levels of German proficiency. 2 levels of the basic level, then the intermediate level and the advanced level. After each of the levels, you also have an international examination, which then helps you to, gives you a certification of your German language proficiency. So if you're deciding to learn German, you might think, where do I get material from? Because, so don't worry about that, because the Goethe-Institut library has ample of material, which is, they have self-study material, exam preparation material, and if you want to enjoy music and art, you have also an array of media that can give you, German films, etc. There are also other events that the library hosts, and you might think that, okay, the next Goethe-Institut is in Calcutta, which is a little far off, but we have something called the Traveling Library, and the German Language Center also has a section in their institute where they have books coming in from the library. And if that's also a little, too far, or you don't want to travel at the moment, you can always take in the offers of our online, which is a complete free program, and it is completely, it's online, and you can borrow books, the same kind of material, like for your studies, for, if you want to also watch movies, get materials, practice materials, exam materials. All you have to do is register. I will send you the link later in the chat also, and it's completely free of cost. And then, since some of you are really interested in language and culture, since, as you said, it is, you cannot separate the two, we from the Goethe-Institut also believe in that, and we believe that just learning a language, is not the entire part of it. You have to practice, and you have to live through the language. So these cultural programs give you an opportunity to do that, and they are for the German language learners of schools of our region, and also for college students. So there are various programs. Now again, back to you. How many levels of German are there? Okay, yeah, you have 6 levels. And then what can you do if you have a good competency level in German? Study or work in Germany, work in German, in a German or multinational company in India, understand cultures better. A, B, or C, what do you think? Yeah, that's a little bit of a trick question, because you can do all 3. And where can you find a good collection of German books, music, and movies online? That is, again, at the online. So here are some of the pictures of the events and the projects that we do that help in the application of the language, the understanding of the culture, and the exchange part of it as well. So here are our famous youth camps. There are local youth camps, there are international youth camps in Germany, as well in South Asia. Then we have other interesting formats like the Youth Congress, or youth conferences, where different young minds come together and not only discuss the language, but important trending topics like this. Sustainability is one of the topics which is very close to our hearts, and here different experts from Germany and India have come together with young minds, trying to find solutions, brainstorming, etc. So the Goethe-Institut also provides a platform. Similarly, there are a lot of exchange. Like here we had a program where different students, experts and students had come from Germany and interacted with students from East India on coding, finding solutions to different problems through coding, etc. And when you have people from 2 countries coming together, then sometimes you also need to understand not only the cultural part, but the intercultural similarities as well as differences. So these are some of the workshops that the Goethe-Institut also conducts not only for school students or exchange program students, but also for people who would like to study in Germany and want to know more about university culture, the campus culture, as well as people who want to work there to get a short insight or sensitization on how the companies in Germany work, so these are the workshops which are also conducted. And as you can see, there are various cultural programs like music concert, film festivals, etc., that are organized, and that if you learn German anywhere you can be part of. This again, I think some of you had mentioned that STEM subjects or science in Germany is something that is very interesting for you. And this is also a project that we are looking into closely. And so there are different projects for the STEM or science subjects. There is a science film festival. There's something called the Kinder-Universität, which has science-based programs where you also learn a little bit of the language as well. We are going to be offering a lot of workshops on artificial intelligence, robotics, coding, and there are also STEM exchange programs for learners. I mean, for school students partnering with German schools and working on STEM projects together. And we are also very happy that we have 2 schools from this region on board, the Litra Valley School and DPS Bokaro. So, but it's not only science, we have also other projects ranging to different subjects like art. This is a project that we had just done, and it was integration of language, mental health, as well as art. And this is a picture of our last session, which was 2 days ago. And as you can see, okay, most of them are smiling, so probably the virtual, online sessions are also something that the students like and can benefit from. We also have programs for college students, university students. So there is this project called Diversity, and this is also for students who haven't learned German as yet, but are planning to probably, or are just curious. So they can, on the topic of diversity, they can make a video or any kind of presentation of what their idea is on diversity and send it in. And the best entries will also receive language scholarship, 3 language scholarships at the Goethe-Institut. So that was from my side what I wanted to tell you. I mean, the different avenues, different ways of exploring the language. You also have our contact, and my colleague Veronica, her contact is also here. She will be presenting after me, and my one you can see at the bottom. So thank you for being here. Vielen Dank.
Thanks, Anita. Thank you so much. It was so informative. I think the Goethe projects and Goethe, camps have always been so motivating for the students here in Bihar and Jharkhand. So thank you so much for your presentation. I would like to move ahead with our next presentation from Ms. Veronica Francisca. Just a second, give me a second. This is regarding career planning through Goethe projects. Veronica, you would be the best person to tell us. We have till now, we have been focusing through Goethe, we have been focusing on studies in Germany. If you could help us something about this career planning through Goethe project, it would be really great. My first question to you would be, why is it an advantage to learn German?
So I think it's always an advantage to learn foreign languages, because as one philosopher, his name is Wittgenstein, he told, the limitations of my language are the limitations of my world. And Ms. Mitra already told, knowing the language is always gives you opportunity to know lots about the culture, because the cultural aspects are always attached to the words and vocabulary. which we are learning with a new language, and it gives you, of course, more opportunities, so which we already heard about. And in the special case of knowing the German language, we have many opportunities with that. You can go and study in Germany, and as you know, the fees for studying in Germany are actually not there. There is a fee which you have to pay for a student ticket, which you can use for transportation, and it's a small, very small administration fee. But actually, like when you minus this ticket which you are getting for that, there is no fee, and you can study in Germany for free. So I think that's a big plus. And the universities, like almost each university, if you go on the website, there is also a division for international students. You can get all informations in English, how to apply, how to go there. They'll provide you also numbers where you can call if you are not sure. On the other hand, there are also opportunities to work in Germany. There are good working conditions, and I think we will hear more about it then later from ProRecognition. And yeah, so I think it's a good thing. And so the balance money which you save, but not by not paying the fees, you can spend on gummy bears and currywurst.
So right, Veronica, a lot of our students, you know, they do not know about this, that their fee is exempted in Germany, and they can, and it is affordable that way. And it's a great opportunity to be in a campus in Germany, which is supposed to be one of the best in the world, and not to pay the tuition fee there. So I would, once again, for my students, for our audience, I would like to repeat this, that there's no tuition fee, and you should go ahead, learn German, and avail this opportunity. But how to, could you just brief us a little about how to select a university? What is the process for our students who have done class 12 from here and they want to go and study there in Germany?
Okay, so there are plenty of universities in Germany, as you know. So you can, Anita, maybe we can share now first the screen. So you can apply in these universities by going directly on the website. There is, every university has a academic support where you can ask questions. After you finish the 12th standard here, you have probably to go to Studienkolleg, which is a preparatory course. And I want to stress that the most of the universities, the most of the big universities, they have this preparatory course on their campus. So I advise to go through these options, because there are also student colleagues which now arise, and sometimes they promise things which they cannot keep it up in the end. So it's better to go through the bigger universities. Maybe, Anita, we can first share the Hochschul ranking.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So this is a site of a very popular magazine for the students in Germany. Ranking of the universities which are here. Those are mostly the bigger universities, like University in Munich, Heidelberg, the Humboldt University in Berlin, the LWTH Aachen. So those are the universities which are very good. And of course, the ranking is always like a little bit, you have to distinguish the subjects. Sometimes university will be selected for a special subject which ranks among the other universities as a best. So you can even apply, for example, in TU München, which is Technical University Munich. There you can also apply for subjects, not only technical subjects. You can study philosophy there, you can study linguistics there. So it is like in all the universities, you can apply for different subjects, but the ranking is based on some special criteria. So I think all universities are good to study, you know, you don't have to apply for the best or the first 5. I think you can apply for all, like for which is interesting for you and which region is interesting for you. And yes, so the way from here, from India to Germany is you have to apply for this preparatory course. And then after completing this course and doing a exam in the end, you will be able to join the university. But I think on this topic, I think later you'll get even more information from DAAD.
Great. Veronica, I would like to, what you mentioned about student colleague, that most of the universities, they offer it there in Germany. Our students, most of them did not know about it, and they get into courses here and they try to skip that. So I think it's mandatory to go through a student colleague there in Germany, right?
Yes, you have to go through the student colleague. Or like if you finish a school with a IB school where you do some certain exam after the 12th standard, then sometimes you get also permission in different universities to go straight to university after, without this preparatory course. But in most of the cases, you have to go through this course because you have to somehow fill the gap, you know, between between the education, like the subjects here and there. There are the same subjects which are taught there, but maybe you'll be prepared a little better also in a sense of language or in a sense of technical language. And so the preparatory courses are actually a good opportunity to have for a year first, to also get to know about the place and the culture and the language, and then start the university.
Yeah, so that's a great thing to know. The students, you should make a point, make a note of that, it's student colleague, you need to prepare for it, and the universities, they themselves offer this, not to move around here and there. Correct.
And not to like be careful by selecting the student colleague, because as I told, some of them, they're trying to get high fees, and in the end, they are not always so trustworthy. So I suggest to go through the bigger universities. Most of them have the opportunity of the student colleague.
Yeah, that's a very important information, students, that go through bigger universities you can trust, and not go through private institutions who are charging you a lot and promising you to clear the student colleague, which later might not be the case. What are the other possible ways with German after the students finish their school? Other than this, other than the student colleague and things?
So the other possibilities are to go, of course, and to work in Germany, or as you know, Germany ranks as a 7th in a list of top 10 investing countries since April 2000. And so you have the possibility also with German to work in India and gain experience here, and then go and work in Germany, for example. So that's also an option. In India, there are many, I know there are so many companies which like Bosch, you know, Lufthansa, like Siemens, where actually the German language is advantage if you want to go and work there, and you can gain experience, and then with this experience you can even apply for the job in Germany. Like we expect that later on Germany will need experts and need workers in all the STEM subjects in the IT field. So with your qualification and your experience, it will be a good opportunity for you and chance to go and get a job in Germany, actually. So on that, I have brought a video for you, which you can watch now. We are also broadening our alumni network. So after finishing the PASH school here in India, we are trying still to keep in touch with you, and we are trying to give also certain opportunities to our alumni. And yeah, this is how it is going. Just we can show the video first, and then I'll explain about that.
Vielen Dank, dass Sie heute alle hierher gekommen sind und dass wir gerade in den tollen Videos schon gesehen, wie hervorragend Sie alle Deutsch sprechen.
Also ich bin zuerst dafür, ich fühle mich ganz herzlich an die PASH-Initiative dankbar. Ich habe Deutsch seit 6. Klasse gelernt. Und ja, also die Sprache ist am wichtigsten für mich, weil ohne die Sprache konnte ich nicht schaffen.
It doesn't impress me to see how many young people speak German, but my personal opinion is that there is still a long way to go. I feel the relationship between Germany and India seems to take off despite the fact that there is a long-standing relationship between these two nations. So there should be far more people who speak German and who build a bridge between Germany and India. Claim, der heißt Quality is the best recipe, Qualität ist das beste Rezept. Nur in Indien haben wir das geändert. In Indien sagen wir Taste the European Legacy since 1890. Aber da müssen wir das europäische stärker hervorheben und Deutschland ist den Karten erobert.
Was ich da erfahren habe. Ich meine, nicht nur im Studium, sondern auch die sozialen Kontakte, die ich jetzt geknüpft habe und auch ja, einfach wie ich die Kultur wahrnehmen konnte. Ich glaube, es ist sehr wichtig, offen ranzugehen an sowas.
I think we as Indians are also very inquisitive, and we have this lust for technology, innovation, etc., etc. And Germany has already done their hardcore analysis. So when George said that you have to really present, so for things to happen, why we say the German quality is the best.
Die deutsche Sprache interessiert. Es ist eine großartige Initiative mit unseren Partnern ZFA, der Zentralstelle für das Auslandsschulwesen, dem Goethe-Institut in enger Zusammenarbeit. Und was uns jetzt besonders wichtig ist, und deswegen sind wir sehr glücklich, dass das so gut klappt, ist die Zusammenarbeit mit der Wirtschaft.
Lufthansa is an international organization for sure, so English is definitely one of the official languages next to German. If you really look at connecting to people, which this industry is about, then the German language is definitely a very great advantage, because language is never just a matter of transporting information, but it's a matter of connecting on the cultural, on the heritage, as well as various other perspective aspects of dealing with people. You know. Therefore, knowing the German language, if you're working for a German organization, in my opinion, is a great advantage, not even to say that it's quite essential. Especially because of the two Pasch alumni that were there. It was great to see these young women speaking German so fluently and to listen to their experience they made in Germany. And I hope it was a very interesting experience for the students in the audience as well, to listen to what the people from the companies had to say. Because I think the advice that they had to give, that they had to share, is very important for these students for their future to benefit.
Congratulate the three winners, the Nehru World School, Ghaziabad, Lotus Valley School and the Balbharti School, who are under the umbrella of ZFA and Goethe-Institut under the banner of the Pasch Schulen. And I think they really did a great job, and many, many congratulations. Keep the good work on and keep the spirit of Indo-German partnership alive.
Ja, natürlich. Also wenn jemand Deutsch spricht, das ist ein deutsches Unternehmen, interne Sprache Deutsch, ich spreche eigentlich auch Englisch, aber natürlich haben die Vorteile, denn intern viel der Kommunikation ist auf Deutsch, viel Kommunikation kommt aus Deutschland, das heißt, wenn es um Produkteinführung geht, wenn es um Menü geht, wenn es um Qualitätssicherung geht, wenn es um Rezepturen geht in dem Bereich, weil wir sind ja eine Lebensmittelfirma als Dr. wenn es um Kuchenrezepturen geht, die von anderen was werden, die ganzen Systeme, die ja teilweise aus Deutschland kommen, wenn man SAP-Systeme liest, dort ist eine ganze Menge dann auch noch auf Deutsch. Von daher haben die sicherlich Vorteile, und für viele, die nicht Deutsch sprechen, die würden wir auch nehmen, aber es geht darum, hat jemand, der Deutsch Vorteile? Ja, definitiv.
Yes. So as you could see in the video, this was an option for our alumni who were students of the Pasch schools. So they got involved in the projects and got one workshop on project management, like it was going for 3 days. And then they had opportunity to meet CEOs of big companies like Lufthansa and Dr. Oetker, and get into discussion with them, like what opportunities they have with German, also in India, and what both like Mr. Mirza and Mr. Etwil, Mr. Mirza from Dr. Oetker and Mr. Etwil from Lufthansa, and Ms. Sonia Prasha from the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce, what they stressed was that even working in India, learning German or knowing German is a big advantage or quite essential to work in a company like that. So yeah, and more of all, we're staying in contact with our alumni, and we're working with them, and they'll get to participate in different programs. So this is, yeah, this is also, I think, a good thing, big advantage. Archana, I cannot hear you.
That's great to know, because we have a question here which says, it's a little political question, but still I would like to bring it up here. Modi ji is promoting Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is self-sufficient India, and made in India. So why learn German and go to Germany? I think you have very aptly answered this question, that it's not only about going to Germany or studying in Germany, working in Germany, it is also about working here in India. It's a global world now. We do not learn a language to go to a country and work there. You can work for your own country by learning the culture and language of others.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So I think this question from Mr. Saksham has been answered, hopefully. And there's another question, what is the student colleague course about? I think once again, if we can just answer it in brief, what is student colleague?
So student colleague is a preparatory course. In this course, you have different divisions, like for example, if you want to study a technical subject, then you will be prepared on this team, like technical team. Or if you want to study mathematics or something, so you have to go in a special course for that. It's just that your knowledge, which you already have, will be how to say, and what is needed for this course will be taught in this course. So what is needed to study in a university for this course, you can prepare for that, because students are coming to Germany from totally different countries, from all over the world, and the education system everywhere is a little bit different, and the curriculum everywhere is a little bit different. So all the students who are coming from all over the world, they'll get kind of the same level, and then they can apply for the courses, for the university courses. And of course, as I told, the technical language is also important, that you can understand then, not only if you finish B1 or B2, it's very good and it's a big start. And then you need also, if you are studying, for example, engineering, so there are so many technical aspects, and this is a new vocabulary again, so which you have also to know. And this is what you will learn there.
Okay, thank you so much, Veronica. It was a very, very informative session, I must say. There are a lot of questions which have been answered through the talk with you, because these are the questions which students always have, and there are no answers to them. And even if they get answers, sometimes these answers are demotivating, or you may say they take them in a different direction. So to get it from the right person in the right way is really great, and a great opportunity for our students. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we have our young couple, Dr. Kapil Sinha and Dr. Nachiketa Mishra. I would like to have a talk with you, a short talk with you, wherein you can share the journey of the two doctors, the journey of it would be great if both of you could join, yes. And we would like you to share the journey of the two doctors from Patna in East India, a small city, so-called small city, to Germany, being a doctor there, being an assistant doctor there. Could you please put some light to it?
Yeah, so first, I think we would like to talk from the language perspective, because it's the most important thing, especially as doctors, because we are communicating with patients. So we needed to have a very high proficiency. We did up till C1 in normal language, and then we did C1 in medicine, the Fachsprache that we did as well. So in Patna, it was very exciting to start with the language. It was a beautiful experience to learn. It was amazing to learn new words and the way one could express oneself in a new language. And that too, German, I think, is a very expressive language. I think you can be a lot more expressive than Hindi or English, or maybe it's a new language. So it was beautiful for us to learn German. We started in Patna with you. It was amazing. And it was difficult at times as well, because as you go higher and higher, there's certain things that were a little difficult. But again, it's I think learning a new language, that's what I would like to tell everyone out there. Like, learning a new language is amazing. It's a very good feeling. First for yourself personally, that you can express yourself in a new language, career-wise, culture-wise, you can learn so much more. And learning new languages also prevents dementia and Alzheimer's with old age. So that's another plus point once you grow old. And I think that you would like to add something as well to this.
I would like to just ask you one thing, Nachiketa and Kapil, both of you, that from what I remember, when you had joined German Language Center for the A1 course, you were already doctors, right? You were both doctors at that time, MBBS. And so how did you feel the need of learning a language after having completed your MBBS?
It was basically Nachi. He always wanted to go to Germany. I don't know why. He had some fixation. Like as doctors, we had other options. We could go to the UK or to the US, but he always wanted to come to Germany. He had a certain fixation to come here. And at that point in time, after you do MBBS, you reach a certain stage that we just wanted to do something non-medicine as well. Like learning a new language was like a very big stress buster for us as well. That we were challenging ourselves with something new. And that's not related to medicine because you study that for 6 years, we're still studying it, we'll study for the rest of our lives. So I think that was one point, and Nachi can talk about his fixation a little bit more. He wanted to come to Germany.
It was because of my father. He's also a urologist working in Jamshedpur. As I was a young child, and he used to import his instruments from Germany. And he used to tell me good things about Germany. And then as a child, it was in my mind fixated that I would love to do some study in Germany. And to break it, the only way is to learn German language. Yeah. To be very frank, it was a very beautiful experience learning German language. It's not easy, but it's an amazing experience.
It's an amazing
when you achieve it, when you pass the exam, it gives you such a good achievement feeling. Yeah?
Plus to understand to understand something new, you know. When for me it was such a big I was so happy for I think a month's time when I could, you know, understand the Nachrichten here, when I could hear it, and I was like, whoa, I understand like 80% of it. I was quite excited. Or like one of the panel students said that he's interested in TV shows and all of that. You know, it's the culture and all the aspects of learning. And I would recommend, like, the sooner you begin, like all of them are really young, the sooner you begin. Also in school, like whenever, like my cousins, nieces, nephews, everyone, I would always say that just go for it. Like just learn it, do A1, A2. It's amazing. And if you like it more, you can go ahead, do more. Otherwise, the basic level also, it's just very good, I think. And
the sooner you start, it's better for you. I'll say,
because I think that's a very important thing. That's a very important thing that you have said right now, that the sooner you begin, the better it is, so that you do not waste your time later on. When you're in school, if you have started, you don't have to. I remember you had to take out time and do the language course. You were already professionals. So so could you also tell me how, having learned this language and when you reach Germany, how helpful was it for you? Was it a prerequisite for your, or you just learned it like that?
It was a prerequisite. We started learning to measure out the chances. So we learned it, and when we came with this level of language, it was relatively very easy for us because we would understand a lot of things. Like we would go to the supermarket, and when someone would greet us, we would know what to answer. Like in the supermarket, we would know what to buy, you know, because everything is in German here. So it did help us a lot in that way. Also, making contact with people was easier because everyone speaks German and they really respect it. When even as a beginner, we would speak broken German, but still they would really respect that, and then we just get better and better. And for us, it was a prerequisite, like to get our license in Germany to work as doctors. We need to have C1 Normal Sprache and C1 Fachsprache, which I did through Goethe-Institut in Freiburg. So they had this course, which was 1 month in classroom, and then they sent me to a hospital for hospitation for 1 month, and that was the real deal. Like I learned so much, and I gained so much of confidence, and that was great.
Expressing yourself. I must say the Goethe-Institut, not only in India but also in Germany, they're doing an excellent job. And to learn with Goethe-Institut, or to learn with you in GLC, that brought us here, to be very frank. And she improved herself a lot when you started working as an assistant or observer.
Like the observership that they made, like the bridging courses that they have, it was like, because we were doctors, it's very different. Like the Medizinsprache was very different from the normal thing that we learned. And that bridging course was the real deal. Like it was so informative. We have to give an exam also, like the licensing exam. That also we did. It was very, very helpful and very, very informative. And yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your information. And I must say, and thank you for joining us despite the busy schedule. You know, yesterday Nachiketa was so busy when we were trying to contact him. He was in the hospital. Sorry for disturbing you then.
No.
Then you both have been so helpful and so willing to share your experience with your with people here in Bihar and Jharkhand, because I'm saying Bihar and Jharkhand because that's our target group here. We are doing it for the students here. Thank you so much, Nachiketa. Kapun, please be with us. We have questions for you in Q&A session.
We'll be more than happy to answer them.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Archana ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, so we go move ahead to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Ms. Shubhda Chaudhary. She is the person with maximum information for our students today. And I think the information that comes from her is the most authentic one. And I have seen her previous presentation in the last webinar. And I must say that was very, very informative, and the audience here should concentrate on this. To you, Ms. Shubhda Chaudhary.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So if you could switch over to my presentation.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome everybody. Yeah, next please. Next please. I don't seem to be audible. Yeah, thank you. There is a bit of a lag, I think. No, the slide before this, please. The slide before this. Yeah, this one. Thank you. So we did speak a little bit about the DAAD when Archana asked me the introductory question. So just a little bit more about that is that the DAAD is primarily a funded organization of the Foreign Ministry of Germany and the Ministry of Education and Research of Germany. And we are the largest funding organization in the world supporting international exchange of students and scholars with more than 1.5 lakh overseas scholarships every year. So that's a huge amount of scholarships. And like I think Archana as well as Veronica said, I would like to underline the fact here that the German universities work very differently as compared to those from the US or UK, Australia, Singapore. German universities do not appreciate the fact of students coming through private consultants. Please understand this very carefully. And it is really appreciated that you send in your own applications, because the applications are online basically, not much that the consultants can do. And the DAAD is always present for you to be able to get procedural information about studying in Germany at the bachelor's level, at the master's level, as well as at the PhD level. So whatever Veronica spoke about and all that, question about that, so you can in touch with e-brochures to pick them up, for the downloads, you can get all these brochures, the bachelor's, master's, as well as the PhD.
I think Shubda ma'am has got disconnected. Till then, once again, I would like to tell the audience that again and again, we are saying that it's important that we do be careful when we are applying to universities in other countries. Prakash, I think you can just keep the slide on. The ma'am is here.
Yeah. Am I audible now again?
Yes, you are.
Somehow I got disconnected.
That's okay. Yeah.
All right. So can we go to the next slide then? Yeah. So why Germany? Of course, you have been hearing about why Germany throughout the presentation, but I would just like to underline the fact that the innovation that comes out of Germany, and I'm not speaking here only of, engineering or technology, because in India, there is a feeling that Germany is good only for, especially mechanical engineering, let me put in Anführungszeichen. But no, as you can see over here, there have been 25 Nobel laureates from Germany in the past 25 years. And in fact, since the Nobel Prize was instituted in 1901, every year there has been a German Nobel laureate. And as you can see on your screen, the Nobel laureates are not only from engineering, but they are from literature, they are from natural sciences, they are from medicine, they are from economics. So the list goes on and on and on. And this, of course, innovation that comes out of Germany is not by chance that it happens. There is a very certain structure to this innovation. Next, please. Yeah, so as you can see, the first and foremost thing that comes to mind when you speak of Germany is the excellence of research and innovation. So as I gather, even from Nachiketa, it was his father who spoke about, I think, instruments and stuff like that, which gave him, sort of inspiration to look at Germany, and nothing less but medicine, which is, I think, one of the most difficult career paths to choose in Germany, because not only is medicine under restricted admission, which means numerus clausus, it also requires an extremely high level of, as Nachiketa and Kapun said, that, let me put it, of technical German in that sense. In this case, of course, it's medical German. So, of course, what is there in Germany is a very close link between theory and practice, which is called praxisorientiert. This is a very, very specific German language concept, I would say, where the application of how should I say, the critical knowledge is extremely, extremely important. And that is one of the issues that we do face in Indian education. And of course, Mr. Modi ji has been trying to, skill India, and, all this is towards that end. The application of knowledge also as a very important aspect of learning. Thirdly, Germany has got an extremely strong international focus, which means that it broadens your horizons, not only through language and culture, but you will be bang in the middle of Europe, being able to travel Europe, and this sort of has a very good influence of developing your
It seems Shubham has once again got disconnected. In the meanwhile, while she comes back and joins us, I have a question for Veronica, ma'am. Just very, very short, there's this Ms. Shipra Pandey. She wants to pursue medical PG course from Germany after completing UG from India. Does she need to do that student colleague? And she also wants to know whether the universities teach in English or in German.
Just to get the question right, you are asking me whether the girl from India wants to do an English language course and whether she needs to do the student colleague. Is that correct? Because I lost connection in between, I think.
Okay, so I think I'll come back. Yeah, the question is whether she is like, she wants to do a PG course from Germany after completing her undergrad from India in medical. So does she need to do the student course, the student colleague or not?
No. The student colleague is only for doing a bachelor's in Germany.
Okay.
It is not for masters. For medicine in Germany, I think ProRecognition will be the right, Sapna will be the right person to guide for postgraduate in medicine, because in Germany there is nothing called postgraduate in medicine as we have in India. It's an integrated 6 or 6.5 years medical course, which is a status examen, and these are not university examinations. And you need to have a B2 level of German language proficiency to start with application at the German universities, and I think I will then leave it to Sapna later on to take it forward from there. But I would suggest that let me finish the presentation first, and then we can go on to the questions. Otherwise, it's gonna, I think, yeah, because I will be speaking of eligibility for masters as well.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and then of course we also have been speaking of the fact that there are excellent career opportunities available in Germany, of course. Not only in Germany, but all these, as the name suggests, are international degree programs which are internationally recognized. And of course, you can come back to India. In fact, that is exactly what we have been seeing in the past years, where people who have studied from Germany have 1 foot in Germany and 1 foot in India. So there is a lot of movement. And in fact, to answer the Atmanirbhar Bharat question, I would also like to say that the DAAD, in fact, does support this very much. And one of our master's scholarships called Educating Professors on Sustainability, which is EPOS, is basically for students from developing countries where they go to Germany to do their masters in specialized courses, get the knowledge of the cutting edge technology, and then come back to India to put that into use in India. So yes, this is very much a part of the whole scheme, so to say. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, so as I said earlier, there are about 13% for international students, Germany with 3.8 million students, which is the largest any country has in terms of percentage of international students. Germany is the 3rd most popular country for international students. In fact, Germany tops the list of most internationalized countries in the higher education arena. Yeah, next, please. Next, please. Yeah, which also then shows in the increase of Indian students going to Germany over the years. As you can see, there were more than 20,800 fresh admissions for the year of 2018. In September, generally, we get the data for the year. So for 2019, we will get it this September. And in fact, the Indians form the 2nd largest contingent of international students in Germany. Yes, so you can see that it is becoming more and more popular. And also in the past couple of years, unluckily or luckily, however you want to put it, the US and the UK have taken a beating when it comes to, popular countries for international students. Next, please. Yeah, so I would just like to bring to your notice a little bit difference in the university system that is there in Germany as compared to India, because we don't have that at all. In Germany, there are the universities and the technical universities, if I may put it. So lots of you all have heard of TUM, for example, the Technische Universität München, or the RWTH Aachen, which is the RWTH University of, that's again a technical university. So and then of course there are the universities of applied sciences, which are a very, very unique aspect of German education system. So the universities and technical universities focus on methodical and theoretical knowledge, but of course they do have a lot of how should I say contact with the research industry in Germany. In masters, there is a research-based final thesis. Masters at universities and technical universities is 2 years, which is 4 semesters. There is a wide range of subjects available at the universities and technical universities, and the degrees that are available are bachelor's, master's, doctorate, and postdoctorate. So basically, all degrees that are available in the higher education arena are available at the universities. Next, please. And these are highly praxis-oriented universities with a very close connection to the professional world. There is a praxis-oriented final thesis, so you will be generally doing your internship in the industry. Typical subjects are engineering, business administration, social sciences, design. And the degrees that are available here, of course, are bachelor's, master's, and only a few PhDs. So those people who would later on be looking at consecutive PhD, meaning doing a PhD immediately master's, should be looking at universities or University of Applied Science, technical universities, and not so much at University of Applied Sciences. Universities of Applied Sciences basically for people who want to immediately go into the industry work. So that is the basic difference that is there in terms of universities. So you have to be very careful when you start choosing a course, because you have to have a good idea as to what is it that you are really interested in, research or actual work. Next. So yeah, as I said, there are programmable in Germany, which are taught majorly in the English language. And these are the bachelor's, master's, and structured doctoral programs. These are internationally recognized degrees. As I said, language of instruction is English. There are some mixed courses also where you have an English-German medium of instruction. But of course, extremely important, what everybody has been saying, it is extremely important to have German language proficiency to begin with, at least A2 level. And then once you are B1 also is better, because you will be able to integrate into the German academic system better. And of course, if you want to stay back and work in Germany, then you would require at least a B2 or a C1 level of German language proficiency. It is really not possible to get a job otherwise in Germany. All these international degree programs are available on the website that you can see over here, the International Programs web search engine. So as I said, you can visit our India website, and of course I will be sharing the brochures with Archana. Next, please. So what are the German skills required? Just to again underline the fact, for English taught programs A1 or A2, of course, you would require the IELTS or TOEFL certificate if you are looking at English language programs. If you are looking at mixed programs, then B1 or B2 would be required. For stay back as well as work in Germany, also B2 or C1 would be required. And if you are looking at a German taught program, then a C1 or a test DAF DDN 4 would be required. So yeah, next please. So as I said earlier, 95% of the German universities do not charge a tuition fee. Only in the state of Baden-Württemberg, there is a fee of 1,500 euros per semester. You, of course, will have to pay a semester contribution of up to 350 euros, which basically is a contribution towards the student union. The student union plays an extremely important role in your student life in Germany, because the facilities provided at the universities are provided by the student union and not by the university, as is the case in India. So basically, this semester contribution would include the contribution towards student dining, sports, cultural events, and as Veronica also specified earlier, a semester ticket on the state transport. So it can either be a bus, it can be a train, that is an U-Bahn, S-Bahn, etc., all these things. So in Germany, as a student, you get a lot of discounts. So yeah, that is something that you have, that you need to take care of in terms of semester contribution. Of course, there are niche courses and there are courses at private universities which do have substantial fee and search engine. Next, please. Please. So I would not really like to speak about the German research landscape over here, but people who are interested can come to me one-on-one, and then we can take a look at this. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. And next, please. Yeah. So then when there are no tuition fees in Germany, what are the living expenses? Because you do have to live in Germany, and at whatever level you go, the living expenses, of course, the German government requires approximately 853 per month to be able to student. Because when I say student, it means that you are either in shared accommodation. That is extremely so. Is an average. It also depends.
So there are days when the connection is not good, and
am I audible again now?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. You are.
All right.
Yes, you are.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So yeah, so, as I said.
Just a moment, please.
Am I audible? Am I audible again?
Yes, you are audible.
All right. Because I can hear myself somehow.
You are unmute. You are mute, so you can unmute yourself.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. All right. So as I said that, at different cities in Germany, the cost would be a little different. München being the costliest, you might even require up to 1,000 euros in Munich. Whereas in smaller cities like Aachen, for example, or Bielefeld, or Dresden, Jena, you would require much lesser than this. Of course, you could even manage in maybe 600, 650 euros, and it also depends on your personal lifestyle at the end of the day. So you are expected to show a blocked account of approximately 10,236 euros at the time of application for visa, which is approximately 8.5 lakhs as of today. All the numbers that I am giving now are as of today. These might change later on when you are ready to apply for a visa as well. Yeah, next please. And then as a non-EU student, you are also allowed to work part-time in Germany. You're allowed to work for 120 full days or 240 half days without a work permit. If you work on campus as a teaching assistant or a research assistant, you can work longer. But of course, all these work contracts should be all the Aliens Registration Office, which is the Foreigners Registration Office in Germany. Next, please. So after you have completed your degree in Germany, bachelor's, master's, or PhD, you're allowed to stay back for 18 months to look for a suitable employment. And once you find employment pertinent to your degree, then you can apply for a work permit. And we have been speaking about job options exist not only in India and Germany. In fact, India themselves have more than 1,700 either German collaboration or sister firms or branches in India. And these companies are looking for people who have studied in Germany. And if you work consecutively for 2 years and fulfill the work and social security guidelines, then it is possible for you to apply for an EU blue card or a German residence permit as well. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah, so I'm sorry, just stay on this. So the WISE, I will quickly go through some of the scholarships of the DAAD. The WISE scholarship is meant for people who are pursuing their bachelor's in India right now, who are in science and engineering. This is not an open scholarship. This is a scholarship for approximately 76 institutions. So all the IITs, all the NITs, and some very important state level institutions fall under this scholarship. And this is to do a 2 to 3 month internship at in Germany, either at the higher education institutes or research institutes. Next, please. For masters, there is a list of scholarships. So as I said earlier, the EPOS scholarship is for development related postgraduate courses. This is approximately 40 courses. This, of course, requires a minimum of 2 years of work experience in the relevant field. Then there is the master's scholarship in the field of public policy and good governance. There is a HSK scholarship, which is Hochschul-Sommerkurs. This is a short scholarship for doing a language and culture summer course in Germany. For this, you need to either be in your bachelor's or master's in any subject, but you have to have a B1 level of German language proficiency, and a Goethe-Institut certificate is required for this. Apart from that, we have special scholarships for architects, music, performing arts, fine arts, design, visual communication, and film. So the list is available again on our website, the daad.in website. Next, please. Of course, the PhD scholarship is our flagship scholarship, and the PhD scholarships are available for 2 options. One is doing a full scholarship, that is doing a full PhD in Germany for 3 years. This is an open scholarship for any field. And then there is the sandwich model scholarship for students who are registered for their PhD in India and this is for 1 year. Next, please. So apart from the DAAD, there are a lot of other funding organizations also in Germany which provide scholarships at different levels and for different fields. You can check them out as well. For example, the Robert Bosch Foundation is there, the Konrad Adenauer Foundation is there, many, many more, of course. So you can check those out also on our website, that is daad.in. Next, please. And these are our contact details. We have 5 centers all over India. No, we don't have a center in Kolkata. So the closest for you could be the Delhi, or you can write, of course, to any of us. I am from the information point in Mumbai, and you can see my ID over there. You can always write to me. You can just give me a reference saying that you have attended the webinar, and so I know what information you already have, so that I can start from where we left off. So that is all from my side, and over to you, Archana.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Shubda. There were a lot of things that, a lot of information that clarified the doubts which usually the students have, and they come up with these queries. But your presentation, I'm sure, have answered a lot of questions, although we have quite a few questions here which we can attend to during the Q&A session. Thanks, Atan, for the informative session. I would like to go ahead with the session. And of course, the most awaited, Ms. Sapna Bhosle, who would be informing us about career opportunities for German learners. Sapna, over to you.
Thank you, Archana. I will just quickly share my screen. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so today I will be talking to all of you about success factors for a career in Germany. A quick introduction, of course. My name is Sapna Bhosle, and I work at the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce in Pune. And our project ProRecognition has been in place since 2015. And this is a project that is funded by the German Federal Ministry for Education and Research. And this project has come into place mainly because there is a large shortage of qualified professionals in the German job market today. One of the reasons for this is, of course, the change in the demographics. Today, the population in Germany is aging, so we have about 60 to 70% of the population that is close to retirement or already retired. There aren't enough young people to take up jobs in Germany, which is why the German government has opened its doors and invites candidates or highly skilled professionals to work in Germany. However, we are going to today look at which are the different fields where there is a demand, which are the different professions where there is a demand. So we're going to look at what the German job market looks like today. So as you can see here, right from 2015, we have statistics showing up to 2090s, where you can see that the vacancies are getting harder to fill. If you look at the bar, which shows the total number of vacancies, and you can see that that is already a large number. And then the darker colored portion in each is the number of vacancies that are hard to fill. So you can see that this portion is getting larger, which means that over the years, there are a lot of vacancies in different professions, which are becoming more and more difficult to fill, meaning that employers are not finding suitable candidates to fill these positions. Now, to have a look at it demographically, in 2017, this is what the German labor market scenario looked like. If you can see the map, wherever you can see the darker portions, that is where the demand was higher. So if you see towards the south and some parts of the west, there are darker shaded portions, and this was the map of 2017. So if we look at the map of 2019, you can see that there is a massive change, and that today there is a massive shortage in all regions in Germany. You can see that the colors are going darker, which means that there is about 60 to 90% shortage all over Germany in different professions. Now, if we have to look at shortage across qualification levels, the highest shortage, of course, is for skilled professionals. Now, skilled professionals here are the people with Berufsausbildung, which is people with technical qualifications or vocational qualifications, which make up about 80% of the shortage that is there. Aside from this, now there is also shortage, so 8.8% of the vacancies which are hard to fill are for specialists. Specialists meaning people with a bachelor's degree and about 2 to 5 years of experience. Again, 75% of those vacancies remain hard to fill today. And of course, then we have experts being people who have a master's degree or even further qualifications and many more years of work experience. Again, the shortage is less, but the vacancies are hard to fill, with about 60% of all vacancies remaining vacant. So today I'm going to talk to you about 3 success factors for those of you who are interested in a career in Germany. We're going to look at these 3 factors one by one. The first, of course, we're going to look at is German language skills, because you are going to go to a country where German is the official spoken language. And as I mentioned before, with the aging demographics, the higher number of the population does not speak any English. They prefer to converse in German. So if you are looking for jobs in Germany, especially in the smaller cities and towns where the demand is much more than in bigger cities like München and Frankfurt, Berlin and Hamburg, but in the smaller towns and cities, of course, having fluency in German is very important. So let's have a look at the professions and correspondingly how much German you need to know if you are working in these professions. So it goes without saying that A1 being the basic level, you definitely need to have language skills at least at A1. Now, for people who work in IT, like software developers, programmers, data scientists, you need a minimum of A2. Whatever you see on the right-hand side of your screen are recommended levels, and whatever you see on the left-hand side of your screen are mandatory. Now, when I say mandatory, this could be mandatory in order to gain access to the German job market, or sometimes even for you to have to apply for a visa. The recommended levels are, of course, recommendations that come from the Federal Employment Agency, which is the largest agency in Germany, which deals with jobs for people. So mandatory for people with vocational qualifications like diplomas, or people with technical qualifications. So if you have a certification from an ITI or a polytechnic, if you're working in fields like mechatronics or mechanics and you have a diploma, you need to have a minimum of A2 before you start with your job search in Germany. And in case if you receive partial recognition, then you need to have a B1. Again, now for people in the hospitality industry, it is a recommendation that you have a minimum of B1. I will always say that these are the minimum levels. The higher language level that you have, the better for you, as the number of opportunities that are available will increase when you have higher language skills. Coming to B2, now for engineers excluding IT, it is required that you have a B2 because your profile will require that you communicate extensively with clients, with vendors, and with your team members. And of course, the spoken language and the official language being German, you need to have a B2 there. It is mandatory for medical professionals to have a B2. So when I'm looking at medical professionals right now, I'm looking at vocational professionals. So anyone who has a qualification in nursing or physiotherapy or any other vocational medical profession such as lab technicians, diagnostics technicians, operation theater assistants, all of you will require to have a minimum of B2 in German. Higher, of course, for doctors, dentists, and pharmacists, and even veterinarians for that matter. So all the academic health professionals, as we already heard, the two students who are currently already working as doctors in Germany have already attested to this and said that you need to have a C1. So you need to have a C1 plus you need to learn medical language, which is a Fachsprache, where you will learn medical terminology. And all of this is going to be at level C1. Over and above this, then you have teachers. So if you want to be a teacher in a public school in Germany, then you need to have a C2, which is the highest level in German. Where you will have fluency in speaking, in communicating, because the language of instruction in public schools is German. So along with the B.Ed, you will require to have a C2 in German. And of course, people who are in IT sales and IT security also, the highest level of German is recommended because again, these profiles tend to have a lot of communication that is required in daily professional life. So aside from this, now we're going to look at the next success factor, which is a background in a shortage profession. Now, the German job market works in such a way that only where there is a professional shortage do you have a chance of finding a job in Germany. So we're going to look at which professions have a shortage. Now, this is mostly STEM professions, which is science, technology, engineering, mathematics, medicine. So these are the professions where there is maximum shortage. We're looking at about 300 shortage professions where there is a minimum of 100 vacancies. Of course, because the job market is so dynamic, these numbers do change. But as you can see, the maximum shortage is in these professions. To give you an idea again of the skilled professionals, now, for example, per 100 vacancies that are there, if you take the field of geriatric nursing, currently in Germany, there are only about 20 qualified people per 100 vacancies, which means that if we took all these 20 nurses and gave them jobs, that still means that there are about 80 vacancies available. This is one of the reasons why why we say that there is a lot of shortage in Germany, in the German job market. Again, if we have to look at professionals, so we can see that for business IT, for example, now, if there are vacancies, if there are about 100 vacancies, now this is only an example that I'm giving you, the vacancies are more than 100, but for every 100 vacancies, there are only about 30 qualified professionals who can take up these jobs, which means that the remaining 70 positions lie vacant. to give you a better, or rather a more clearer picture now, over the years, if we look at IT professions, these were the vacancies. If you see the comparison between 2009 and 2019, it's almost like 100% increase. We went from 20,000 vacancies to 1,24,000 vacancies in 2019, which shows that there is a massive demand in the field of IT. Next, of course, engineering. So these are the engineering profiles where there is more demand. The highest, of course, being electrical engineers, electrical and electronics, and then IT, civil engineering, including architecture and mechanical engineering. So in these profiles, it is still relatively easy to get a job because there is a large shortage in these professions. Then if we look at medical professionals, as Shubhata mentioned, there used to be a larger vacancy for veterinarians. Today, of course, the vacancy is still there, maybe not as rampant as it was a few years ago. But if we look at even regular doctors and dentists, per vacancy that is there, there are only 2 people applying for a job, which means that there is still a lot of demand in these professions. And this demand is more in the smaller towns and cities where it is difficult for hospitals to place doctors. Now, for those of you who are studying in India and then want to work in Germany, this next part is going to be very important for you, because if you want to work in Germany, then your qualifications need to be recognized as per the German curriculum. For those of you who want to work, study in Germany and then look for a job, since you have already, or since you will acquire a German degree, your qualifications will automatically be considered as equivalent because they are German qualifications. But for those of you who are currently doing their bachelor's or master's studies, let's look at recognition of qualifications. So first of all, what is recognition? Now, recognition is when the German Recognition Authority compares your Indian qualification with the German curriculum, and they verify it in terms of content and structure, and then they decide if it is equivalent to the German curriculum. And if they see that it is equivalent, you will receive a certificate or a statement of equivalency, which is then considered that your qualification is recognized in Germany, which also means that you will then have access to the German job market. Now, you can get access to the German job market if you have completed a degree or diploma, and if your qualification is from a government recognized university or institute. So if it is recognized by the UGC in India, then of course you can easily get your qualifications recognized in Germany. But you also need to know that the course that you have studied has been accredited by the UGC at the time that the certificate has been issued to you. So in some cases, it has come to light that the university is recognized, but it is a new course that the university has started that the UGC at that point had not accredited. In such cases, then getting the recognition for your qualifications will not be possible. So why is recognition important? First of all, in some cases, it is a prerequisite for visas. A good example here is for medical professionals, because unless you have the recognition or at least partial recognition for your qualifications, you cannot apply for a visa and you cannot get access to the regulated profession. So doctors and nurses, all the healthcare professions, these are, of course, regulated professions in Germany, which means that without having your qualifications recognized by the German authority, you cannot gain access to this profession in Germany. Aside from this, now if you are an engineer or are aspiring to work as an engineer in Germany, then you will require recognition of your qualifications in order to use the German professional title of engineer. The same goes for the architects. If you want to use the German professional title of architect, then you need to get your qualifications recognized. If you don't, then it is illegal as per consumer law in Germany to use the professional. So if you are making your CV and you are trying to write your CV in German, do not use the term engineer to apply for jobs in Germany, and you do not have the recognition for the. Now, aside from this, a recognition also helps provide transparency for the potential employer. This is mainly because of the difference in the education systems between Germany and India. So for a classic example that I can give you here is the Indian diploma, which you would do before doing a bachelor's degree or instead of doing a bachelor's degree. Many times an employer would confuse that with a diploma, and a diploma is a master's degree in Germany. So a diploma is below a bachelor's and a diploma is a master's degree. Something like this can create a lot of confusion as it would be seen as a mismatch of qualifications, and this kind of confusion will create a lot of problems at the time of applying for a visa. Aside from this, now, if you have the recognition, you get access to advanced vocational training. You also get access to advanced medical training. As Shubhada had mentioned, postgraduate studies in medicine is not something that is there in Germany. In Germany, if you want to work as a postgraduate doctor, or if you want to study your specialization, then you need to first get the recognition of your MBBS or BDS for dentists, and then you will work as an assistant doctor for a period of 5 to 6 years, during which time you can also do your specialization on the side. So where do you apply for recognition? This completely depends on why you are applying and whether your profession is a regulated profession which needs to be recognized in Germany. And in some cases, it also depends on the work location. Again, if I have to cite the example for medical professionals, if you are working as a doctor and you want to work in Germany as a doctor, or you want to do your further studies, there are 16 states or regions in Germany, which means there are 16 different recognition authorities. So depending on where you want to work or where you get a job, you will have to approach the recognition authority in that state and apply for the recognition of your qualifications. So a little bit more about our project. As I mentioned, we have been a project by the Federal Ministry of Education and Research. We have been here since 2015. We have a presence in 10 countries and our head office is in Germany, in Berlin. Our project mainly is an information service. We do not do job placements of any sort. All that we do is we guide you and give you free, fair, and accurate information on your job chances, on the recognition of your qualifications, and of course, how much German you need to know, what chances there are in the individual profile, whether it's a good idea for you to work in Germany first, or whether it's a good idea for you to first study and then go to work. because of the different professions where there's a shortage. Now, I know I did not mention a lot of professions. For example, we did not talk about any of the fields in commerce or business or humanities, because of course, these are professions where there is not a lot of shortage, which means that it would be easier in those professions if you were first to study in Germany and then find a job. So we would definitely be happy to support working professionals on their job chances and recognition of your qualifications. In case if you are already working and if you have finished your studies and are looking for a job in Germany, you can reach out to us and we'll be happy to give you more information on how to apply for jobs in Germany. We do have upcoming webinars which you can inform your friends or colleagues or anybody who is interested in knowing more about a career in Germany. So these are the webinars that are coming up in the month of September. And of course, we have a general info session that's coming up in the month of October as well. So for those of you who want to, hello. For those of you who want to register for our upcoming webinars, you can visit our LinkedIn page or Facebook or our ProRecognition website, that's www.prorecognition.in, and check out the events that are coming up and register for any of the upcoming webinars. You can also connect with us directly if you have any questions. I know that most of you are students and still studying, so I will try to answer as many questions that you have right here. And if you have any questions about the German job market, you can also reach out to us. These are our contact details. And of course, that is my team. We're a team of 3 people in India, and we handle queries for all over India. So if you have any questions about working in Germany, feel free to reach out to us. So that's it from me today, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. I hope this has given you at least a little bit of information about what the German job market looks like. I understand that it's a lot of information in such a short period. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Thank you, Sapna. It was a great session. Yeah, my students are job seekers here, must have got a lot of information for which they have been waiting for so long. And as you have also shared the webinars with us, I'm sure they have taken a note of it. And if you could send me the dates so we can just forward it to the viewers on their emails, so that Definitely. If they wish, they can get good information. Thank you so much. So now it's time for the Q&A session, the most awaited session, and I must say I already have around 20-25 questions from the viewers, and apart from our panelists who are ready to shoot their questions. So the first question comes to Ms. Sapna Bhosle from Vidushi Roy. Vidushi Roy, could you please share your question? What is your query? Ms. Vidushi Roy, it seems she's not there, or yeah, she is there.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You can start your video as well.
Ma'am, there is some technical glitch. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Go ahead with the audio.
Okay, ma'am. So I had this question that there were a lot of figures which were in euros. So could you convert that in like INR and tell me exactly what the figure comes to?
Oh my God.
Like the lifestyle or the fee and everything, because those figures were a little jumbling.
I think that is a question for Shubhada, and because I did not share any amounts and figures.
So, thank you, Sapna. So basically, as I said, it is in euros.
Ma'am, you're not audible.
Euro rate is changing. Yeah, the exchange rate is changing. So that is why we live
Anita ma'am, we are not able to hear you clearly. A
Is
little
that
louder,
better?
maybe. Yeah,
Is that
maybe
better?
better.
Yeah, all right.
Yes, yes.
Coming back, the 853 euros, and it has been put as euros because the exchange rate keeps changing on a daily basis. So we really can't put a INR figure or an Indian rupees figure on it. But as of today, approximately the 10,236 euros, which is 853 into 12, that's for 1 year, would come to approximately 8.5 to 8.75 Indian rupees. But it completely depends. The two factors that will always play a role is that what is the amount mandated by the German government when you are ready to apply for a visa, and what is the exchange rate on the day that you make the actual transfer. So these two are very important aspects in it. Okay.
Thank you, Shubha. Thank you.
For you.
Yeah.
Vidushi, is your question answered?
Ma'am, I could not hear the last sentence actually.
I said the exchange rate keeps changing on a daily basis. And the two important factors are that what is the amount that is mandated by the German government on the day you apply for the visa, and what is the exchange rate of the euro on the day that you make the actual transfer.
Okay, ma'am. Right,
okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah.
I have one more question from Sapna ma'am. So if she could answer. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, please
Yes, you
ask your
are.
question.
Yes, ma'am. I'm a literature student. So if I had to study English literature in Germany, which level of course, like A1, A2, for how, like which one I would have to do?
So if you're talking about studying in Germany, again, your question should be directed to Shubhata. If you have any questions about working in Germany, I'll be happy to answer them.
Yes, ma'am. I have one more question. Like post-COVID, would it be safe to advise people? Like, what do you think the scenario would be? Like after COVID, or like we are still living in this scenario, so we cannot exactly put a full stop, like when it's going to stop. But whenever that is, will it be possible to go to Germany as easily as it was before?
Yes, definitely. Even today, visa applications are open for people who have job offers, and even for university students where they have a requirement to be at university.
Yes, ma'am.
So it is so the visa centers are open for applications even today. I think since mid-August, things have started looking up. And of course, it depends on how much cross-country travel, cross-border travel is actually permitted at this time. But I would say, and I think Veronica, if she's still around, would be in a better position, or even the two Indian doctors in Germany who are currently in Germany would be in a better position to give us an actual idea about what Corona or the impact of Corona is like in Germany today, because we are all sitting in India here. But travel has started, and the job market is open, so there is always demand.
Leave it. Okay. I'm sorry, did I interrupt?
Ma'am, I think ma'am wants to answer. Like
okay, Vidushi, so can we move on to the next question by Sakshi Modi? Sakshi Modi has, she said she has a question for Veronica, ma'am, but I believe she is not there. So probably I can request Anita Mitra ma'am to answer her question. Sakshi?
Yes, ma'am. So I have a question that how skeptic or friendly are the German authorities and German people towards a foreigner in this pandemic-ridden times? Ma'am, you're not audible.
Sorry, I think perhaps, the doctors can answer this question better because they are there with the authorities. So if they could take over this question, that would be nice. So we could have it from the horse's mouth, so to say.
Can you repeat the question once again, because so that I can answer it more accurately?
Yes, ma'am. I have a question that how skeptic or friendly are the German authorities and German people towards a foreigner in these pandemic-ridden times?
In my opinion and in my personal experience, they're not skeptic at all. They're precautious. There are set rules to how things are supposed to work. If you want to go to a government office or if you want to contact them, you'll always have to make an appointment. But everything is functioning normally, very smoothly. I personally have not experienced any hindrance, any obstruction, to be very honest. It's just that they try to restrict the personal contact, but if it is required, they always invite you to come to the office and to do everything. Paperwork is going like digitally, everything is happening digitally or through post. So I really don't think that you should worry about any skepticism or something like that. Yes, it is a pandemic. People are scared, people are precautious, but I think precaution is very good. And in my personal experience, neither should you worry. This will stay. This is something that's going to stay with us for some time, and we have to work around it itself. And everybody is like the government, the authorities, they're controlling it very well over here as well. Also in day-to-day life, things have changed, but everything's functioning smoothly.
Because the health system is working so perfectly,
yeah,
that we don't need to care about it.
Yeah,
But we just need to be careful.
Yeah, it's just careful. People are careful. Like also about, I think the previous girl, she asked a question about will it be that easy to apply for things. I think like I still see new people coming over here. I still see new doctors coming to our hospital and working as well. So nothing has stopped. People are taking their licensing exams. The registration for doctors, it is still ongoing. They are taking the exams. They are, yes, it's a little slower, I would say. Like previously they would do a lot of people together, but now it's just one at a time. So it's taking a little bit more time, but it's good.
Can I just add over here, since I am constantly in touch with the consulate regarding the visas for students and everybody else. Right now, of course, you must be aware of the fact that India on a national level and also from the Ministry of Health Affairs, there is no one is permitted to exit India for the reason of immigration. So it is not only Germany, it is also the ground rules that are there in India. And secondly, if you are aware of the fact that India is in the process of creating air bubbles with different countries where people can fly to and fro with a minimum of health checks, or rather the proper health checks and stuff like that. And like Sapna said, yes, the visas have already started. Of course, it depends on the ground level again, because the cases in Maharashtra and Mumbai are far more, for example, as those compared to Kolkata. So the consulate has just opened this week for specific levels. So by and by it will happen. It's not going to be that suddenly everything is going to be open. There are going to be precautions that will be taken into consideration, not only by Germany and the rest of the world, but also India. We are in the same sort of, in the same situation. So the precautions that are taken over here are going to be taken over there as well. So one just has to understand the new normal, basically. It is not like, we are going back to what it was. That is not happening in the near future any case, but things will function. They will function in a little different manner. That is something that one has to understand out of all this.
Thank you, ma'am. That answers my question.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, may I request Divyanshu Sahai from DPS Ranchi to put up his question?
So, good afternoon, everyone. My question is to Shubhadha Chaudhary, ma'am. So, how different is studying in Germany as compared to India?
Quite different, I would say, on two levels. Point number one is that, as I said earlier, there is a lot of application orientation or praxis orientation, as it is called. So there is a lot of requirement to be able to put your learning into practice. That is point number one. Point number two, in Germany as a whole, even in the education system, you're expected to be extremely independent. So your teachers are not going to tell you to come and attend class, or not going to tell you to give your projects on time and stuff like that. It is completely up to you. It is finally your life. So if you are not going to be serious about it, it is your choice. So yes, independence of thought and independence of action are extremely important in the German education system and German life as a whole.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Divyanshu. Thanks, Shubhda. Ashutosh Sharan, Vitra Valley School.
Yeah, my question is from Anita, ma'am. So our school has German till standard 8. So, but how should we prepare ourselves after that? Like, does Goethe-Institut have any project for classes 11th and 12th or something?
Yes, actually, there are a lot of projects, especially for class 11 and 12. There are also those who take up German in their board exams. There are special preparatory courses for them. And we have also exchange programs like, I think you mentioned that you're interested in science as well. So there are right now a lot of workshops that we are offering, especially with the STEM subjects, like I had mentioned, I mean, robotics, artificial intelligence, and also especially for these classes, I mean, the higher classes who can then partner with German schools and exchange on project ideas on these STEM subjects. So there are a lot of projects and workshops also for, especially for the students who have learned German before, like till class 8, like you, and then are moving on to class, 9, 10, 11, where they are trying to figure out what they're going to study in future. And for them, we are at the moment having a lot of workshops and oriented to science and STEM subjects. So you'll have a lot of things coming up your way.
Thank you, ma'am. And ma'am, I have one more question from Nachiket sir and Kapun ma'am. So we heard that Germany is more about technical studies. So what are the chances of a medicine student making it big in Germany?
What are the chances here? That's a very difficult thing to answer. Well, like, we are here. So, and there are many people who are here. So in my hospital, in my department, I have another Indian colleague. It's very multicultural. We have so many doctors from different countries. It's not just German people. There are so many. It's a very nice mixture of cultures together. So there are people coming from different countries to pursue their Weiterbildung, that's the post-graduation in Germany as doctors. And as ma'am said, it's it's been mentioned that it's not something that you learn in a university, you work in a hospital. So it's hands-on training. You have to be very independent. You learn on your own. You have people to guide you, but they leave you alone to make decisions as a doctor, which I think is very good. Like clinically and practically, it's something that makes you very independent and just sharpens your skill. To make it big, the most important thing is language. That's what I said before as well. Start as early as possible. Try to indulge yourself as much as possible in German, because you're communicating with your patients. You have to understand them. If you don't understand them, then you really can't do anything about it. So language is the most important. Once your German is good, then technical, like the Fachsprache medicine, it comes automatically. It's really not that big a deal. Like, you can learn that as well, and how to communicate with your patients. So that's the most important. when you're in medicine, you anyway study so much. So you take an exam, like anywhere you want to go, even in India, US, UK, Australia, you have to take the licensing exam. So it's the same everywhere. In German, the only thing is it will be in German. But once you're in touch with the language, once you're good in the language, then it will be the same thing for you. Like if you do it in English, you do it in German, it will be the same. Like it really won't be any different, I think. In my opinion, that was our experience. So language most important, and then just go ahead, and the options are open. Like they said, statistically they do need doctors, and especially in smaller cities. There are many clinics and doctor practices that you can actually go ahead and do your post-graduation in. So there are many options, I think. Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, of course, it answered his question. I think
Archana,
so.
could I come in for a moment, please?
Yes, sure, sure.
Archana,
If you
I
could
need
also,
to
if you
leave
could
now
also
because I
start
have
your
another
video.
webinar at 3 o'clock and my tech check starts in 5 minutes.
Okay. So we have a few questions for you. Shall we go ahead with it?
If you
Just
could
two
just
more, or
finish
just
the questions with me, then I would really like to leave because, as I said, I have one webinar at 3 o'clock and another at 5:30. So yeah, it's a packed day for me today.
So if Tanushree, if you could just put up your question.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is from Shivda, ma'am. Ma'am, how is the atmosphere for foreign student in Germany? Is Germany a safe place, or we can say right place to study?
Absolutely, without a doubt. As I said earlier, Indians form the second largest contingent of international students, and Germany, with more than 13% international student, has the highest international student population in the world. So it is extremely good. It is extremely friendly, extremely safe. And I think even during the Corona times, it has shown that in fact Germany has kept its cases to the very least, and it is one of the countries to have opened up first, in fact. So yes, on all counts, it would be a yes.
Ma'am, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, which field in Germany which is in demand of higher salary?
There is nothing like that because it keeps fluctuating over the years. So there is nothing static about it, as you must have seen in Sapna's presentation also. The figures in 2017 were quite different from the figures in 2019. And it is never about what is in demand. It is always about what is your passion. Because if you don't have the passion, please remember you're going to be working in that field for approximately 35 to 40 years. And it will not be possible for you to work just because there is a demand. No demand in the market can stay for 35, 40 years consistently. So you have to first look at the fact as to what is your passion and whether you will be able to sustain that passion for so long.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shubda. That was a wonderful, you really answered the question well. The demand is not what matters. What matters is our passion.
Exactly.
Yeah, and thanks, Shubda. You please go ahead with your next webinar. We will carry on with the session. Thank you for joining. And it was a pleasure. It was very, very informative for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Most welcome. And I will send you the brochures so that the people can have, you can send them.
Yes. And if there are important links that you would like to share, you can send them so that we can send it through
They
email
are
to
all
our
in the
audience.
brochures that I send you, Archana.
Great, great. Thank you.
And in case I will send you the link so that the students can directly go to the website also and browse the website for further information as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Shubha.
All right. Take care, everybody. Nice talking to you. Bye. See you.
Bye-bye. See you. So our next question is from Mohini Raman from Delhi University.
My question would be directed to Sapna ma'am. Hello ma'am, as a student who has studied all my life in India, how easy would you say that it is to get a job for an Indian student who has studied in India to get a job in Germany? What would be the application to rejection rate or acceptance rate, if that?
I would say that totally depends on how committed you are and how independent you are. As Shubhada said, in being independent is something that is very important. Being disciplined is something that is very important, because unlike the way that we are brought up in India, where there's a lot of hand-holding, a lot of support from family, when you're in Germany, you need to find a way to make it on your own. And this starts right from your application process. So one thing that you should consider is don't go through consultants or agencies who say that they can find you a job or that they can place you in Germany. You need to be independent. You need to make your own applications. There are so many people who have successfully found jobs in Germany. It does take a little time to find the job that you are looking for. You may find that at some point you will face a few rejections here and there when your applications are concerned, but you need to keep at it. You need to keep your spirits high. And of course, when it comes to professional talk, then if you are applying for a job, make sure that the job description matches exactly what it is that you are doing. It is important for you to have at least a year of work experience in India before you apply for jobs in Germany. It is relatively difficult for freshers who don't have any work experience to find jobs, because any employer in a foreign country would be hesitant about hiring somebody who doesn't have any work experience. So first of all, start understanding work culture as it is, not just in Germany, but in India itself. So apply for a job, start working here in India, get some work experience, find out what your passions and interests are, and then you need to have sufficient German language skills. And then once you're ready to apply for jobs in Germany, then make sure that your qualifications are recognized in Germany. Make sure that the jobs that you're applying for are suitable to the profile that you are interested in working in. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
I hope I've answered your question sufficiently.
Yes, ma'am, it seems fair enough.
Thank you. Thank you, Sapna. Next question from Tulika Bothra. I think this question is for for Veronica, ma'am, but then she's not here. Anita, ma'am, do you think you would be able to answer this? Tulika?
Hello, ma'am. My question is, how are the living conditions in Germany when you're a student there? And what could be some advantages that studying in Germany offers?
The living conditions, and could you repeat the questions? I couldn't hear it properly, actually.
How are the living conditions in Germany when you are a student there? And what could be some advantages that studying in Germany offers?
Yeah, the living conditions, I mean, this is what I can see from my ex-students. I mean, it's pretty, good. I mean, they have nice accommodation, nice single rooms. It's nothing very extravagant or, but it's clean, it's sufficient, it has everything that you need to study. And the advantage of studying in Germany, I think what the students tell me or what I hear from them, because most of our students are there, is that the application-based process, like that, the research part of it. And I've heard from my friends who are studying there as well, they say that the professors are never really satisfied with what you're doing, which is a very good thing, because they keep on encouraging you to do better. So it's a very application-oriented learning process. So it's nothing that you need to memorize or something. So you need to really apply. It's hand-on, a lot of practical approach. You have also like a foreign semester. So if you're studying in one college, there are exchange semesters in another European city perhaps, where you can get, more experience, more contacts, different approach to learning. So that is something I think that is an advantage, because you don't only come back with the knowledge of the subject, but a lot of other practical hands-on experience, and tackling things in different ways, working on projects. So I think that is something that could be an advantage, I mean, for your entire career later on as well.
Thank you, ma'am. That was insightful.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Anita. Mona, would you like to pose a question, please?
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to put up my question to Sapna, ma'am. Since we all have been hit by this pandemic, and many of us have lost their jobs, so will there be enough opportunities for the people who are not the natives of Germany?
Yes, so the German job market, as I said, is very dynamic. Even today, there are people who have who come back to us and say that they have received job offers despite the pandemic situation. So, I mean, the pandemic has not hit only India or only Germany; it's hit the entire world. And like it was mentioned before, we are finding a way to a new normal, but this does not mean that jobs are not available. So there are still a lot of jobs available. There are still, if you look at job portals in Germany today, if you look at statistics by the Federal Employment Agency, there are still humongous vacancies over different professions across all different verticals. So job opportunities are very much there. And I don't think the pandemic has hampered job opportunities as such. The only thing is that cross-border travel is something that is restricted right now. At the beginning of this year, or rather in the second quarter, where the pandemic was at its peak, or the scare or the fear was at its peak, I can say that there was a hiring freeze in a lot of organizations across Germany. I would say that was the same all over the world. But of course, the situation is getting better day by day. So now job opportunities are open again. Companies are again welcome to hiring people and looking to hire from outside of Germany as well.
And ma'am, also, wouldn't be a challenge for the industry, like many of them have lost their jobs already, and in addition also many freshers would be coming up to seek the jobs. So wouldn't be a challenge, and I mean, according to you, how much percentage of increment in job creation would be there?
It's difficult to put a percentage to this, but you have to understand that jobs, people lost their jobs because the economy was hit massively. And as the economy is picking up again, job opportunities are being created again. And when it comes to freshers entering the market, initially, of course, it will be a bit of a challenge, I would say. But new jobs are being created every day. So statistically speaking, I would still say there are easily 100 vacancies per profession, or more than 100 vacancies that are being registered. So it's not going to be such a difficult thing to find jobs.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. That's impressive.
Great, I'm sure your question is answered, Mona. Thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have another question for Nachiketa sir and Kapun ma'am. Ma'am, you have been living in Germany, so you might be aware and adjusted to the climate over there. So the weather is extremely high for us, especially for us Indians, as we are in hot and humid conditions. So how long does it take to acclimatize with the situations, as for the people who are suffering from conditions like sinusitis or any other health problems?
See, that's a very individual thing, but in general, when you talk about sinusitis or people who are suffering from pollen allergies or hair allergies, that is something like pollen allergy, hair allergies is something that's quite common here during springtime. It hits a lot of people. And when you talk about sinusitis, yeah, during winters, the flu gets everywhere, everyone gets sick. But I think your body just gets used to it. I think for me, it was a lot more because I have kids, so they fall sick more often. But when you're alone, you're single, you're an adult, and you take precautions, like you take care of your immunity, you eat healthy, you drink lots of water. That's very important during winter, especially over here, that because it's so cold, you don't drink so much. So if you take precautions, if you're self-aware of your health, I think maybe one winter will be a little harsh for you, but after that you'll be fine. And then spring and summer is really beautiful, like in Europe. That I think you will really enjoy. Health issues, it's the same, it's as I said, it's a very personal thing. If you take care of yourself, if you're self-aware, then I think you can manage in any sort of weather, be it cold, be it very hot. Like in India, it's also so extremely hot, it's and over here it's extremely cold during winters. But yeah, I think it's about how you manage yourself, right?
Yeah, plus the health system is so good and everybody's insured over here in Germany.
Yeah.
And then if anything happens, you can 24/7, you can go to a hospital and you get the best treatment.
You get a good treatment.
Yeah, and then there's just no discrimination or something like that. And then the doctors, they have, like we in a hospital have a particular time frame that we have to see a patient in within 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 1 hour. That's set by the kind of sickness the patient is having. So that's a very
you don't have to worry. Like the
it,
health system is good, everything is good. You're insured when you come here, so you don't have to worry about shelling out on bills or like be like, oh my god, I'm sick, I'll have a big bill, or my family is going to get a lot of stress because of the factors. So that's also there. And I think winters is sort of good, like it's better than too much of heat, because inside it's completely warm. When you're inside your university or your room or your house, it's temperature controlled, so it's quite fine. Like you can move around in a t-shirt and track pants and your pajamas without any stress.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
I hope it answers your question.
Surely, ma'am.
I'm not very good at answering questions. Right?
Thank you, Kapun. And Nachiketa also came in. That was right. That was good. Thanks, Nachiketa.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next question is from Akash. Akash.
I would like to ask a question to Nachiketa sir and Kapun ma'am. It is commonly said that the cost of studying in Germany is way cheaper than India. And what about the cost of living, and what is the actual scenario for working professionals?
See, it depends. Oh no, I'm muted. It's see, it depends on which field you are. See, as a student, you will have to just, like, as a student, your life is different. When you're working, your life is different. And whether you have a family or not, that is also a factor. So if you're alone and you're working, it depends on the kind of salary, but there's a basic salary for everyone. So with that amount of money, you can have a good life. Like, yeah, it just depends on how much you spend. Like, you can, if you're working, even as a student, I've seen so many people that if you restrict your costs, you can save money, you can work part-time, and then they travel so much, they do a lot of cultural things, they really enjoy their time here in Europe. And you can really, if you know how to manage things, if you really know how to
To answer your first question, that how much is the cost of living in Germany? As a student, we used to spend around 700 to 800 euros per month per head. That's the inclusive everything.
Yeah, including everything. Like you talk about rent, you talk about food. Like food also depends. In Germany, one thing that I really like is that compared to the neighboring European countries, groceries and everything, the cost is very controlled. So you're going to get very high quality food for the minimum cost. Like sometimes my parents come here and they go shopping and they see like, oh, it's the same price as in India. They're like, over here, it's very strongly controlled by the government. So you get very good quality food. You can get very good quality everything for a very low price. So you can, as a single student, if you're staying for food and all, you can sometimes do in as less as 100 euros or 150 euros per month if you're a single person, and if you do some cooking by yourself. So it just depends on how you manage. If you eat out every day, then of course it's going to be expensive, right? But in universities, they have mess and all of that. So that's also not very expensive. They cater to students.
I did my master's in public health in Hamburg, and the mess and all, the price was always controlled, and there were always discounts for the students. The same food, if some outsider used to come and eat, it used to be double the price. So I'll say 700-800 euros per month. You survive really good.
Really well. Like
really well, yeah. And then if you do cost cutting and all, then you can visit some neighboring countries, Denmark, Holland, Netherlands, and then there are a lot of
you can do a lot of.
You can check online cheaper buses, trains, flights. Yeah, it's just really fun over here.
Thank you, Nachiketa. Thank you, Kapil. Okay, so let's have the next question from Ms. Anita Mitra. Vihag Shamle, could you just put your question, please?
Yes, my question from Anita ma'am. Ma'am, does Goethe-Institut have any scholarship for students who have excelled in the language during school education, especially for the student class 11th and 12th?
Yes, actually, the Goethe-Institut has scholarships every year for students. I mean, the age doesn't, I mean, the class doesn't really matter. Of course, it's the German language skills. So the best students always get scholarship. There's also, I mean, from the Goethe-Institut, we have yearly scholarships, as well as the PAD offers scholarships to school students for 3 weeks. I mean, generally it's for 3 to 4 weeks. It's a language course with other experiences as well. I mean, so the PAD also offers this for students who have a language proficiency of B1, and the Goethe-Institut is always, you know, the highest proficiency taught in your school. So if that's A2, so the best student of A2 gets a chance to, you know, go to Germany. As apart from scholarships to Germany, and there are also other scholarships to learn courses, to go to youth camps in South Asia, or also somewhere else in Southeast Asia. So there are a lot of scholarship programs.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Anita. I think you have answered his query. Thank you so much. We'll move ahead with the next question now. And I believe you also need to join another meeting. So it's just 2 more questions more. We are going ahead with Sapna's question and Nachiketa Kapun. And the rest of the questions which we have got from the audience, we have attendees from other attendees. We will request the panelists to answer those questions later on, and you know, we can put it up on our Facebook page or on our website. We'll be informing the attendees regarding the same. So I have the next question. Thank you, Anita. Thank you for joining us and for organizing everything, both the webinars. We look forward to working with you more in the future.
Again, yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Sapna, we have a question for you from Prajwal Sagar.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My question is for Sapna ma'am. Firstly, thank you, ma'am, for such an enlightening and informative presentation. I truly agree that doing masters in humanities and arts for sure give students excellent research skill and good command and communication. Since my interest lies in humanities and I wish to pursue masters from Germany, what could be the ideal job available or offered?
That's a very difficult question to answer. I mean, how would you define an ideal job, really? So every job has a lot of professions. So every profession has a lot of sub-professions, as so to speak. And very honestly speaking, this is a question beyond my scope, because humanities is really not one of the professions that we even cater to. We usually advise people mostly on STEM professions. So if you can give me a little bit more detail on what subjects that you're studying or what it is that you're looking to do, I'll try and answer your question a little more in detail.
Currently I'm pursuing bachelor's in German language
Mhm.
with my specialization in linguistic, didactic, and literature.
Okay.
And I wish to do master's in development, environment, society, and history in South Asia.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
So, I mean, there are a lot of opportunities that you can consider, for example, as a diplomat, or, working with embassies and consulates, administrative offices, where cross-competency of knowledge between India and Germany is required. This could be an interesting profession for you. Or, of course, if you want to get into recruitment and job opportunities there would also be there. If you have good skills in language, you can become a negotiator. So there are a lot of opportunities available for you. But it also depends on what your focus is going to be once you complete your education. Because once you complete your master's, I think you will be in a better position. You will have a better position and better understanding of what exactly your passion is, and what profession exactly you would like to look at.
Okay, ma'am. And also one more question. Since I'm already doing my bachelor's in German language, do I really need to give any proficiency test to get into these universities?
Language proficiency, you would probably still require a C1 certificate, but if you have done your graduation in German, it's difficult to say for me actually, because again, then your question is more in the direction of studying in Germany, where Shubhada would have been the expert to answer the question. But I would say that with the bachelor's, if the university is recognized in Germany, it should not be a problem for you to apply for masters.
Okay, ma'am.
I mean,
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
you may have to, in some cases, if the courses are taught in German, they do ask for a Goethe certificate or C1, and then just go appear for the exam, get your certificate, and then go for your studies.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Sapna. That was a very detailed answer to his question, and he was really waiting for this opportunity to ask you this question. Thank you so much. So just one more question for Nachiketa and Kapun. We have Pranav here. He is in Bihar Animal Science University, veterinary medicine. He would like to put a question to you.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, hi.
How are you? I think you are very good, and all the best wishes for both of you from my side. And I'm also from your field, from same fraternity.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
ma'am, actually, I have a question to Nachiketa, sir. I'm a veterinary medicine student, and actually, I'm my degree, master degree in public health sector. You know the One Health program. That this is the public health connect both MBBS and veterinary. So I want. Can you suggest me how could I avail from Germany this degree in master here in public health?
You want to apply for masters in public health here? You want to pursue your course here?
Yes.
Okay. So it depends on depends on which language you want to do it in. If you want to do it in German, then you have to learn German and you have to do up to C1 and test staff, and then you can pursue it in German. There are English courses as well for masters in public health. For example, in Hamburg, there is
Hamburg.
Hamburg.
Yeah. There's one more in Charité.
Yeah, Charité in Berlin. There is one as well. And I think they've increased. Like for us, it was a few years back. So now they've actually expanded. They have more universities have these courses in English. So for that, I think you need TOEFL or IELTS, and then you need to go ahead and apply.
DAAD will tell you better about it. How many universities they are offering these courses? You can contact DAAD, and then you directly send your application to the university, and then they select you on basis of your percentage marks,
and
test
the
scores
field you're coming from, because you are also coming from medical field, so
you get more preference.
It makes sense that you go ahead and pursue your masters in public health. So
So, and there's one more thing that I learned from my colleagues as I was doing masters in public health. I got in the first attempt, but few of them they were trying in the same university since last 4 years, and the fourth year they got it because the university was really happy. They were trying to get into the university, and their motivation letter was really nice. So
that's really important. Like motivation letter that you write, that's also very important with your application. Like why exactly do you want to pursue that course? Also for visa, like for both
the things.
Clarity is very important.
Why
exactly do you want to pursue this?
Okay, so actually I'm in A1 level. I'm learning German, and so I'm focusing for my further study in Germany, especially in public health, because this attracts me a lot. So I can
as the colleagues, the other speakers, they told that it's not that the teachers, they will come and teach you. They will give you projects and you have to do it yourself completely, and then you are completely independent, and then they give you chance to fall down, and then they pick you up and they tell you how it has to be done right. So, and by the end, when you pass out, you feel more confident, and then you succeed in your field then.
And that does.
So what will be the job opportunities after that in Germany and other European countries after?
There are a lot of job opportunities. Most of them it depends on your effort also, and how much contacts you develop during the studies and all. They take you to different seminars and conferences and all, and then you have to be self-aware and make contacts, and then and apply to the different institutions. Like from my university also got a job offer at UN. There was a project in Africa for health economics. I was really well in that. So, but I wanted to then I got an offer in medicine, and then I switched back to what I'm doing right now, doing masters in urology. But by the end, like in India, like in the engineering colleges and all that, by the end of the semester, the different universities, the different companies, they come and they select you. That's the same over here. But you have to be really good, and you have to make good contacts.
Contacts is very so important. They take you to seminars and everything. You can also, like, there's one batchmate of us gone into teaching as well for English course. Like she's gone into the teaching aspect of it. So there's multitude of things that you can do. You know, you can explore yourself during your, and it's not like they give you a lot of time. It's relaxed as well. It's not that you know, you can do your research properly. You can study. You can.
Or after that, you can do PhD also. Two of my friends, they are doing PhD right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
If there's anything, you can always contact us.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Share your email ID with him. You can always contact you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Nachiketa. Thank you, Kapil.
I have to go to my work now. Can I take leave? Yeah, my work.
Yeah, sure. We have exceeded time. We have doubled the time. So I'm really sorry, but these questions are really informative. Thank you so much. And there's just thank you, Nachiketa. You can please continue with your work. Yeah.
If there's any question, I am here, ma'am. Like
right here. So one last question we have from Sakshi Modi. Sakshi is very fast. If you could just put up your question, I think
Yes,
it's for
ma'am. Ma'am, I have a question that if I want to work in Germany after my MBA, what are the opportunities related to the corporates and how would I apply for the same?
Sapna ma'am.
Yes. So